Okay, everybody, welcome to this week's Google Apps / employment planning class. This week we're doing employment planning, and we're really going to focus on the resume, partially because we have people coming in this week, and we have some job fairs for everybody to go to, so we need to have perfect resumes. A little bit of okay, there was a little bit of an echo here. Rob, what was that from again? Do you remember? Okay. Anyway, so today's event, what's the, let's see, we can start reading today's event. Nick, what does it say? We learn.
Of a hiring decision based on resume, whereas 38% is attitude.
Good. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, only 7% of the hiring decision is based upon your resume. So, and 93% is not based upon the resume. So, how important is your resume? Is it important or not important? Why is it 7%? No, it's not part of the 93%. Okay. Yes, Victoria.
I say it's important because it gets you in the door. So you can
Okay, that is the right answer. It might only be 7% of the decision whether you get hired. However, it's probably close to 100% of the decision of whether you get interviewed. Okay, you're not going to get to the interview if they don't like your resume. Now, this is if you're doing the reactive approach, or your first time on the proactive approach. They don't know you. They put an ad out there saying we're hiring people, and imagine that there's scores or hundreds of people applying for that position. Okay, so they have to decide whether you're worthy to interview based upon your resume. Because what else do they have? What else do they have besides your resume?
A million other ones.
No, regarding you. Regarding you. Yeah, they haven't seen you. So the resume might not be important in the final decision, but you never get to the final decision if your resume is not important. Okay, so did anybody read the rest of that? What's the math? What does the math work out to be? No, not that math. The rest going on in Google and our notes for today. Oh, okay. Yes. So a small employment response is 100 people looking for a job. That's small. If 100 people are sending their resumes in, and you spend 5 minutes per resume, how many minutes is that?
An hour and 20 hours.
Huh? 500 minutes. And how many hours is that?
8 hours.
8 hours and 20 minutes. Do you think a business is going to spend 8 hours going through resumes?
No.
Right. How much are they going to spend?
30 seconds of resume.
Okay. So let's say they're going to spend an hour the first time through, and they're just going to look at it, hold it up, look at it, and say yes or no. If you go in the yes pile, that is good. I'm in.
Look at 100. Take a look at 100 resumes in less than an hour and 30 seconds.
Sherry? You're looking for Sherry?
Are you Rachel?
Who are you looking for? Looking for me? Okay. You're looking for Sherry. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so they're going to spend about 30 seconds looking at your resume. Good morning. How are you? Our guest is here, everyone.
All right. Good morning.
I don't know if you'll understand.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Okay, so, Catherine, would you let Sherry know? Okay, so they're going to spend about 30 seconds looking at the resume to see, does it look good?
I was reading on the internet the other day, this guy put his resume, applying for a graphic arts job, and he put his resume on his
Okay,
and not their attention.
well, okay, so that was being clever. Most people are not that way. So when you submit your resume, they're looking the first pass through. If they have 100 resumes to go through, they're looking for, does it look good? Can they do the simple things right? Is the spelling right? Is the grammar right? Does it look consistent throughout, or does it look like they kept adding to this thing and they're not really, they don't really care? That's the first pass through. Yes, Mary. Well, I don't know. It depends.
Cover letter.
Well, I'm just focused right now on the resume itself. So if you have, you should try to keep it down to 1 page. And I would say for our purposes here, few people should have a resume that's more than 1 page. If any. But we're back just to the first time through. They've got a stack of 100 resumes, and human nature is this. I don't need to read a resume if I can look at it and determine this person's not the right person for us. And if the position is a highly precise position, things like the way it looks, it become very important. Okay? Let's say it's a job for a bookkeeper in an auto mechanic position. They might not really care. What they might care is, do you have experience as an auto mechanic? And that person reviewing resumes, their eyes might zero laser in on, where did you work before? Is any automotive? And then that goes in the second pile that says, okay, I'm going to read this later. But there's a sorting, which is this resume worth looking at? And so they might spend an hour just separating resumes between the no, or the maybe, and the hell no pile. Okay? Not now. Okay? And then when they get to the second pile, which might be 20 resumes, maybe they don't say, maybe they say, we don't care how many resumes. Good. When they say, maybe there's 20 resumes, maybe they're going to spend 10 or 15 minutes looking at each resume, and maybe they say, well, we're going to interview 10 people. Okay? That's when your interviewing skills become important. But before that, what's important is, how does the resume look? So here, we use one type of resume. It's the type of resume that we use. And I already know, there's all kinds of different resumes. I already know that. Okay, but we can't help if everybody says, well, I like my style better, I like my style better, I like my style better. Okay, we like our style because our style gets across to the employer what they're interested in. And it enables us to focus on everybody here and make sure everybody's as good. If we have to learn the style that you like, and that you like, and you like, in order to have you create a good resume, nobody's going to really have a good resume because we don't have time to do that. But just have confidence that the format that we use is a very good format. We need to make sure, you need to make sure that your resumes are complete. So, on your drive is the format of a resume. How many people in California don't have the resume format? Basic blank resume. Anybody in California not have that? Dennis, anybody not have it?
Anyone not have it? We have maybe
3 students.
Okay, so here's the thing to do. Under our Navy SEALs Learn One, Do One, Teach One, either A, students share with another student, or B, on open class. In open class under the employment workshop, there is the format stored as a document. And what I urge you to do in California is when you're done partially doing a lesson in Word, then to practice on your resume. And what I recommend for everyone here is that you learn Word by doing your resume. Learn Word by doing your resume, because everything in Word, everything that you need, everything on your resume you need to know how to do in Word. So if you learn how to do your resume, you're going to learn Word.
So is it on Google Drive?
Yes, there is a drive that is shared with you called One LTCLV. And I think it's called resume format or something.
Slash files or after LTCLV?
Yeah. Okay, so any questions so far on the resume? I see Rose talking.
Okay, I'm turning this camera in. No, we're okay right now. I have to just get the students to, their formats for the resumes. So
Okay.
I'll on that after Hangouts.
Okay, so now regarding this resume format, how many people here have started doing their resume in that format?
I did.
Deborah? What about you, Marion? Okay, Marion has not.
I have.
Is that your hand up, Joanne? It's kind of like sneaking up over the screen. Hey,
Put my
Billy?
name on it.
I mean, Jamie?
Mine's completed.
Okay, Brian?
I already got this.
Okay, so your resume is in the format.
Yeah, it's been enough.
Okay, so another reason we want the resumes to be in the same format is at the job fair for the downtown project on Thursday and Friday. We've been asked to submit our stuff first. And when they're going through them, we don't want them to be judging you based upon your format. Your resume format doesn't look right. If everybody's format is uniform and consistent, then it's going to have a psychological effect of they're not going to be judging you by the format of your resume. They're going to judge you by the content of your resume, and you're going to have your interview. Okay, and that's what this week is really about. It's preparation for Thursdays and Fridays job fair, which is the start of various job fairs that we're going to be doing. So, questions? Yes.
How do
Otis.
we get to the format?
On your drive, okay, Matt, can you find the resume on the drive? Okay, so Otis will help you. Remember, my job is not to help you. Good morning, Cody. You have to look to each other as part of your team.
I can show you.
How's
Okay,
this
so
chapter gonna
Scott.
work, Director?
Well, we submit our resumes in advance, hopefully tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest. They will review them. I will speak to Dan and figure out what's the thing we do, but we're going to go over to the Gold Spike, and that's where they do their interviewing. And I don't know if you start here or it's everybody starts with somebody different. I don't know how they do it specifically, but we'll know. And you guys will, of course, go on Friday. So we'll have more information for you Friday morning.
So we're gonna do us on Thursdays and then on Fridays?
Yeah, because there's an advantage to being there first. We want them to judge. We want other people to be judged by our people, not vice versa. So today, the most important thing is what?
Try to get
Your resume.
Get your resumes done, right.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple parts to the resume. One is the top part, which is the quick snapshot. What are your fundamental skills? Okay, what is your basic attitude in life? Now, if it is not true, this will be clear to you when you guys see it. If it's not true about you, don't put it down. Because when you're in your interview and they say, well, why do you say you're a self-starter? And you say, well, I'm not really a self-starter. I like to get up early, late in the morning. I like to sleep in.
That's not good, huh?
Now everything on your resume is in question. Okay? So customize it to you. Instead of saying, you know, I'm an early starter or whatever, you might say, I work well late into the night or early into the morning type of thing. Always be completely honest and truthful in your resume, because if they don't trust you, again, no matter what you say is going to be filtered through, well, we don't know if this guy is truthful. If the guy is telling the truth, we like this person. But if she's not telling the truth, we absolutely don't want her. But this other person over here, they're not as good as if this person's telling the truth, but we don't know that this person's telling the truth, so we're going to go with this person over here.
Trustworthy employee.
Okay? So you have to be completely honest. But that doesn't mean you don't put the best spin on something. Okay? You don't mislead. You're honest. You don't mislead. But you always want to put the most positive spin. Remember, everybody in life has problems. The person interviewing you has problems in their life. The owner of the company has problems in their life. It's not the problems that you have in your life that are going to prevent you from getting the job. It's whether you're trustworthy that's going to prevent you from getting the job. And now I'm just speaking about the jobs that this school is associated with, because you might find you want to work for a company that doesn't want people who are trustworthy, like, say, the CIA.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Okay, but we don't train people for those jobs. So here, the important thing is to be completely trustworthy. Okay? If they don't trust you, you're not going to get the position. So, and everybody has problems in their life. You can turn a negative into a positive. So what did Tiger Todd say at Hero School about how you turn a negative into a positive?
Get an expert.
No?
Till or
No. No, you don't know.
Why not let it define you?
He
No,
said that if
he had a
you don't-
line
if
to
you-
use to people. If they say something about something negative, you say a particular line. And then there's variations of that. Yeah, I was really stupid then. Does anybody remember that? That was at the
I don't
school?
know, it's kind of hard. when
Boy,
it's
was I
90
stupid
minutes
then.
here, 90
Yeah, I was really dumb then. Back then, I was really stupid. Nobody
I
else
learned.
remembers this stuff?
I got it.
You guys don't remember?
I
Cody?
remember.
Yeah, I remember him
Sucks.
saying that if something goes bad, you can turn it into something positive. Like if you're trying to be a runner for the Olympics and you don't make it, you can train somebody to be a runner.
Yes, Otis.
No, he said not. He was saying like if there is a negativity there, don't, instead of running from it like we used to do, instead of putting anything else. Yeah, put boy was I stupid.
Right. Okay. So they know you have problems. So I was watching a TED Talk yesterday, and the guy, Simon Sinek, was talking about, he was giving a presentation at Quantico Marine Corps Base. And they had an incident that morning. And they were figuring out whether they should, he said, well, what happened? The colonel came in and he said, sorry, I'm late, we had an incident this morning. He said, well, what was it? He said, well, we're thinking about letting somebody go out of officer candidate school. I said, well, what did he do? He said he fell asleep at his post. Simon Sinek said, well, wow, that seems kind of harsh. You're dismissing the guy out of officer candidate school because he fell asleep on watch last night, or whatever, fell asleep on watch. He said, well, when we asked him about did you fall asleep, he said no. He denied it. And then we asked him again, and he denied it again. Then when we gave him irrefutable evidence that we know that he fell asleep, at that point he said, I take complete responsibility for my actions.
Too late.
That should have been his first answer.
Right. And they said, you know, here, if you are an officer, your people have to trust you completely. You don't take responsibility after you're caught. You take responsibility up front. So it's not that you have problems or that we have problems.
That's how we deal with it.
Everybody has problems. It's how you deal with them, and taking responsibility is the key part. Okay? Yes, Mary?
So if he had done that first thing, took responsibility, would he have gotten fired?
Okay, so the colonel said, we had another guy that fell asleep, but he immediately owned up to it, and we're not kicking him out. He's going to be punished, but he's not being dismissed. Okay? Now, it's not always like that.
No, but still.
Okay? Sometimes,
You lie twice, and then went to.
so for example, you have a little box on your resume, check here if you've ever been convicted of a felony. So what is the thought process that a lot of people have?
Don't check it.
If I check it, what's going to
I'm
happen?
not gonna get the job anyway.
I'm not going to get the job.
So I might as well lie.
If I don't check it, what could happen?
And I catch it.
I might get the job or I might not get the job, but if I get the job, then what? I might
get
what?
fired for lying.
I might not keep.
I might get caught or I might not get caught.
What about when mine was 24 years old? And it still shows my record, though.
Usually they only go 5 years.
How do you know it shows on your record?
You don't.
Because they made me register as a felon when I come to town. Like 8
How do you know it shows on your record today?
Well, I don't know if it still shows up.
And
now.
I hate to tell you, they don't ask you anymore on applications if you're a felon. They let the background people do that.
Okay,
You go
well,
fill out any application.
some
nowadays,
people
they never
might-
ask you that.
some people may, some people might. That's not the point of whether they ask it on the resume. The point is, what do you do if you're asked that question? That's the point.
Tell
Can
the
you
truth.
explain it in an interview?
Maybe if you get
I've
to
I've
the,
actually seen people put that they ain't, and then find it a year later and get fired for it.
exactly, yes.
That's why you
Otis.
don't.
They end up with a foreman
To
position
follow
that
up
way.
with what Jamie just said,
You know, I
from what I
thought
learned in hero school, the best response is to own up to it. Yes, boy, was I stupid. We'll explain.
In interviews, right.
Okay. Starting a relationship off on a lie is never good. Okay.
So I
No.
should mark this just in case, or?
It should just be yes, period, right?
I signed that thing going.
Honesty and
They put a big red circle around it, next thing I know, it's garbage out.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
some say have
okay,
the
here's
other
the good
thing,
news.
the other one say
The
it's
law
not.
is changing and HR departments are changing. Why? Why are they
Because there's
changing?
more and more people that got
Exactly,
felonies.
because it's getting
Because
harder and
we got
harder to
prisons,
find
we
good
got more
people.
prisons than People.
Right,
more
it's getting,
prisons than any other country.
correct. Yes.
Well, that's probably the reason, what I was going to answer your question was they need employees.
Yeah. Well, it's also becoming socially acceptable to hire people who have a felony, because not all felons today are like felons 50 years ago. You know, felons 50 years ago was mostly things like armed robbery. You know, there was a physical confrontation involved.
Now they arrest you for anything.
Well, now it usually stems from drugs
DUI.
or DUI. Yes,
Just
Keanu.
like tattoos, tattoos are morally accepted now in this
Okay, tattoos are more acceptable. Yes.
But the real response to your question is, we're not the same people. People who are felons, we're not the same people as we were at the time.
Oh,
And these
Well-
companies need employees.
That's if you get to the interview stage. And so if you get to the interview stage, you can deal with that then. But here's the mission for today. The mission for today now in Las Vegas is at 11 o'clock when everybody's doing Word is to focus on your resume. And even if you have done your resume and your resume is done, look at it again. Okay, just look at it again. If it is done, then what I want you to do is to post it on the Las Vegas, what's the community, Rob? Just Las Vegas Downtown Project.
Downtown project.
Post it.
Post it to Rob, and Rob was gonna do that.
The resume?
He told me to send it to Rob.
Well, that was
That
then.
was her
Can I ask a
overload.
question about it?
Wait, that was then.
Does everyone-
So post it onto the community. We will delete it, or we'll take it off, and we'll edit it, or whatever. But just put it on the community. Okay, so everybody should be invited. If you go into Google Plus, there's a community called Las Vegas Community. And for people in California, anybody who's interested in moving to Las Vegas, there is water here. Anybody interested in moving to Las Vegas, you can post your resume there too. Downtown Project.
We get a resume out of the drive, share with me. But and the Google Docs are working on it, right?
Here's the community right here. It looks like this. Downtown Project Las Vegas. Now this is a community that we created for the local downtown project employers to go and look at your resumes. But we're not going to put resumes on there that are not good enough, because we don't want you to get rejected because your resume doesn't look right, because that reflects badly on the school. Okay, so the mission for today is everybody to focus on your resume. The resume is vital to getting you an interview. There's no excuse for it not to be perfect. If you don't know Word, when you post it onto wherever you're going to do it, or when you send it to an employer, save it as a PDF file and send a PDF. Because if you're applying for an office position and you don't know Word and you send your resume in and they click on the formatting and they see you don't know Word, you're not going to get hired, because they're going to say, you're going to write down on your resume that you are competent or proficient in Word, and they're going to look at how you do Word, and they're going to say you don't know Word. So we don't really have any reason to interview you, because you're either out of touch with reality or you're a liar. Okay? So a thing you can do is save it as a PDF file. Then they can't look to see how you formatted it in Word. And for the people who don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay, but you will learn this in Word. How to use tabs and style sheets in different fonts.
We're going to learn that down the road.
Yeah. Well, starting next week, because this week, well, you're going to learn it this week because you're going to have to do your resume. But when you download the form is going to be in a perfect format. So if you just keep it in the format it's in, you're going to be good. If you delete any paragraph mark, which looks like this, if you delete any of those on this resume, your resume is going to be screwed up. You can delete everything in front of that, but don't delete this. Don't delete that paragraph mark. Okay. In California, any questions? Victoria, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Ed. How about yourself?
Good. Okay. Any questions in California?
Are we good, guys?
Good.
We're good, Ed.
Okay, so today is the importance of your resume. It is vital to getting you the interview. There's no excuse for it not being perfect. You have plenty of time to do it. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about content in your resume. The words you use in your resume when you get to the second stage. In other words, you've gotten through the first file, the first sort. You've gone from hell no to maybe. Now, the words that you use to describe your experience is what's going to get you the interview. It's not the description of where you worked, it's what you did at that place that's going to get the interview. It's convincing them on this piece of paper that you have the ability to make them money or save them money. That's what's important. So, okay, we're going to wrap it up. It's break time. And thank you in California. Oh, by the way, what's the weather in California?
It's nice and sunny.
In Healy.
Okay.
They're in LA, right?
We have a winter storm here. We're getting all of your water.
Oh, Ed, before we go, may I introduce our new students?
Sure. Okay, everybody, hold on. The Santa Fe Springs is gonna introduce their new students.
Oh,
Nancy and Chanel, come to the hot seat.
Okay, quiet, everyone. They're going to bring their new students up, and then tomorrow our new students will introduce yourself.
We have Nancy and we have Chanel, our two new students. Can you see them?
Well, I think, there we go. Nope. There we go.
Okay. Chanel is on my left. She's waving.
Okay.
And Nancy, wave Nancy. And there's Nancy.
Hello, Chanel. Okay. So, where do each of you live?
We're both,
They're both from Park, yes.
Both
Winter Park.
Buena Park in Riverside. Well, Riverside, that's a drive.
No. Orange County.
Oh, I thought you said Riverside.
No.
They're both from Buena Park?
Yes.
Oh,
by Knott's Berry Farm. Yes.
Knott's Berry Farm. Anybody been there?
Yes.
Anybody not been there? Jamie's aunt lives down the street. Does anybody like rhubarb pies?
Yes. Boysenberry.
No. Now, Nancy and Chanel, where did you work before?
Pediatric Medical Group. And I worked at St. Mary Medical Center in Long Beach.
Okay. Okay, great. And so, again, what classes are you taking?
Medical bookkeeping. We're both medical bookkeeping.
Medical bookkeeping. Okay, so that's kind of like one of the most popular classes in Santa Fe Springs. It's also a challenging because you have to learn QuickBooks and medical terminology and what else? Billing, MCP,
Medisoft.
Metasoft. So yeah, how many weeks is your program?
4 months.
16 weeks? Wow. Okay, that's great. Okay, what I'd like both of you to do is to send me an email so I can get you your professional email address, all right?
Okay, sure.
Okay, well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you for being there, and if you have any questions, please let me know. And you're in good hands with Rose and Dennis. You're really going to like Dennis.
Oh, but not so much me, huh? Gee,
Thank you.
make me out the bad guy here. I know.
Okay, so we'll introduce our two new students tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, have a great day.
Okay, bye now.